Okay.
All right, whenever you're ready.
Ready to go? Okay, let's call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. Rachel, do you want to call roll?
Yes, John Cutts, Dana Mulder,
Here.
Scott Reese,
Here.
Alice Larson.
Here. But we have minutes in here, but I think we're going to do with the next meeting, right?
Yeah, no.
And same thing with board communication.
Mm-hmm.
And we have somebody in the public tonight and on Zoom. Hi, Kathy Macho. Hi, Kathy. You hear us?
I don't have her muted. She's connecting to audio though, so maybe it's taking a minute.
I hear. Yes, Scott. We're going to try to keep our agenda tonight to everything boardwalk.
Hi, Elsa.
Hi, Allison. Good. Are you there, Kathy? Okay. Discussion items. Let's get going. So I'm going to insert an A here, if that's okay. So the neighbor Charlie, right here, something like that. Him and I have been talking about how boardwalk design differs from the current boardwalk, that we have ramps, current boardwalk, and there's no ramps. That's adds about 60 steps. The boardwalk. So very different user experience. You know, we're all used to the nice slopes, and then you've got these steps and slopes. So anyways, I talked to Victor about, can we look into this? And he's like, in the meantime, we did go over and talk to Joe Benchmark. And I know all this history, but the reason they eliminated the ramps, landings, and steps was because of concerns about ice and rain.
There's also slight concern with code. Ramps now.
Well, it's not ADA to begin with.
No, you can only have so much slope and so many.
Right.
And any walkway with steps. But the majority of it.
Yes.
And Victor spoke with Charlie again today, and they kind of came to like an understanding. So in 2018, when council looked at these plans, it had 140 steps in it at 6 inches, and council approved that.
Hi.
And then the new design is 116 steps at 7 inches or 7 inches, just over 7 point. Yeah, 7.25 is the new design. The current design is 89. So going from 89 to 140 down to 116.
So that is just another bit of an issue. You know, we're designing outside things. What's your usual?
Code is 7. Okay, move.
Yeah, we usually.
So if you want less steps for elder, or less steps for elder, try to stay. So there's no way to get around this. The only thing we can do is try to, if there's anything at all, maybe build in an extra mesh here or there.
They did talk about, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but they did talk about today about instead of 6 feet between steps, putting 8 feet between steps. It's like right now it's like there's 3 steps, 6 feet, 5 steps, 6 feet, like whatever, like, and it continues on. Victor's saying it could be like 3 steps, 8 feet. You know, we would be able to divvy that up a little differently.
And there's some areas, you look at the walkway you get up at Cut River Bridge.
Oh,
The
yeah,
new-
the new people.
The new one they put in there, there's steps there.
Mm-hmm.
Going down, you know, there's a run of 8 or 9, you know, with this landing, there's 5 and landing, 5 and landing, depends on the slope. There, obviously, so that makes, there's probably 100 steps in that.
Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Do I have to introduce myself? My address?
Yes, please.
Terrence fell down in 644. Are we talking about both sides of the boardwalk right now, or just one?
Just the one half.
Just the one.
I make a suggestion that we about the picture and look at those sides. They get it done all at once.
There's a cost for that.
So, and I know Rachel, I'm sure Rachel will just put in a grant, or we'll be putting in a grant application for the full. That's what we're planning, Rachel.
I'm waiting to still hear back. The plan is, I can't put the grant in for the full because I don't have all the engineering drawings for the full thing. Like I don't have a cost. I can put in what I have saying we still plan on doing the east side and I can give an estimate. I don't know. That's what I asked the grant coordinator is how that'll look. But yeah, I would like to at least put in there that there is an eastern portion and this is I just don't have the actual engineering to send in. So,
Because I know the grant, the way we.
Yeah.
Was $1 million,
right,
you know, we'd have to do.
right.
And if it was under $1 million, it didn't sound like they would even.
Yeah.
Application.
And Joe from Benchmark doesn't believe the whole boardwalk will come to $1 million. He doesn't think he could get it to $1 million if he wanted to.
There's
So-
a lot about, like, how can you beat the cost, like use deposit or something.
Yeah, but that would again be like a whole, because we don't want to go down that road of changing it.
Building costs, I
He-
wouldn't say never right now.
I don't know. He says anywhere from, he believes 700 to 900, but I can't get,
Right,
We're not gonna know till we put it out.
yeah.
well, that's just it. And it's gotta get
Mhm.
bid to know what we're dealing with.
Right.
We have to get all these little fine tweaks. Like, I don't know, on one hand, we say,
When we're
Just
spending
look-
a ton of
just
money
let
on
them
design,
benchmark.
so.
get it all figured out and let them do their thing, or we could have input, like, we have old people.
Well, and my opinion is that it's been out there a long time. Suggestions. And we can go on forever. Suggest A or B or C for the steps, landings and everything. And right now, we should just, my opinion is we should rate and do what we can for money. And move forward, because there's always gonna. I agree with, Victor's opinion that there's been enough time for public. How many steps? How many-
And he was open, like I said, to changing distance between and changing that up a little. Because that's a minor tweak compared to getting rid of the steps altogether. Right, that's not gonna be a major change by any means.
Different things. They actually lay out. How the steps are
Let's
gonna go.
let's let it rest.
Yeah, I think we need to have
That's how I
plan
feel.
A,
Let's
but
raise the money.
with what you're
forward.
saying, I think there is in the back of everybody's mind, we're not abandoning the eastern section, just taking the section out right now so that we don't lose easement there. And then once we get access back between point A and point B, then we can look at option to do the rest of it.
So as far as fundraising goes, then I think it is neither here nor there.
No, we have a plan, we got
I agree.
everything right now, let's just,
Nobody who
that
gives
done.
$10,000 is gonna say, oh, I thought they're gonna be 4-foot length. I don't know.
Well,
That's
we
what the
were
concern
looking
was
at
about changing.
MEDC revitalization and place grants.
Mhm.
Rachel and I were kind of going back and forth. It appeared that the grant had to be for $1 million. And doing half of it, we would not
Right,
even reach the $1 million. So I asked, why don't we try to go for $1 million? Obviously, it's not,
yeah,
but just because
Right.
I kind of noted the grant and
Mhm.
MEDC, I mean, why not try to get it done?
right.
We still have to fundraise for half of it.
Yeah.
And it'll be okay. So, and I know there's other grants potentially
What's the
out
problem?
there.
the only offset to that is we still have to spend money on getting and engineered,
Right?
like that, so there's another 10, 20.
Count that in the grant. if you want to, I mean, you can add that in, so. But yeah, and I'll do that in the grant. I'll say like the project as a whole, the problem is engineering cost that we have is only for the western portion. So that's all they're gonna say. They're gonna say, why doesn't this match what you're asking? But they might give us time too, because some grants are really lenient on that. They say, we really like this project, you know, get this to us, you have this long, you know, so I don't know. DNR usually is pretty
Well, if
pretty
that's
good
an
about
option,
that,
then I'd
but
say,
some aren't.
you know, let's look at that. But for right now, I think we got enough. Let's get 28 point.
Let's do something.
Mhm.
Can't afford to wait. And the information that's out there, good, I've had a lot of questions.
Yeah.
The words out there.
Rachel, do you have that thing I sent you?
I do.
I don't know if you had anything like that you want to do first.
No, I made a couple comments on yours, but nothing
Okay, so let's
crazy.
start at the top. All right, this is just something I think we need to talk about. I don't know if there's a good answer for it, but there's so much fundraising going on right now. And we're trying to raise money just within parks for the skate park, for the boardwalk. You know, they're starting to raise funds for this housing project. How do you balance all that? Do we only just go after one at a time? I don't know. I think we need to just have like maybe one major publicity thing going on at a time where it's going to be.
I agree with that.
I just think that, we need to have a clear publicity or social media, however you call it, campaign that outlines and answers the questions that I've been approached by a number of owners. Want to know, you know, if I donate money, will it only be used for the boardwalk? Can it be used for something? If we raise more money than the 600,000 for the western side, will it be used for the eastern side? So there's significant donors that have asked me questions. And I think our campaign needs to be clear about the questions that donors have.
Yeah.
And
So let's first agree. Let's just work on it. All right.
that it's about,
So
Yes,
if we
so
raise more money than an estimate comes back for, that's accepted, then we can look at. There's some
lighting.
creature comfort thing that could
but
add to that.
Or,
The 600 includes lighting.
well, that's a question we should answer
Right.
amongst ourselves, is do we want to put it towards that type of thing or put it towards the?
I'm pretty sure Victor's flyer says it'll go towards the eastern section. Like it's pretty clear. We should run with that. Yeah.
How would you feel about trying to develop a list of? Or,
yeah, no problem.
Yeah, I think
No problem.
we've talked about that too, haven't we?
Because
An FAQ.
I just think, you know, like you talked about benches just now, and, you know, you're talking about benches on the boardwalk where people think benches down at the marina or somewhere. And so the people that I've been in touch with who are interested in making significant contributions just want to know, if I give the money and we don't raise enough money to have it done,
Mhm.
will the city use that money for something?
We can't.
Oh,
Yeah, we
yeah, I
can't.
know the answer is no, but we, as
Yeah.
a city, need to communicate that
So
to these people.
I'll help you. Let's work on a nice glossy brochure that answers the question.
And it needs to be, you know, a brochure, it needs to be in our.
Will you
social
make sure
media
you
posts.
send it to me before it's posted anywhere?
Yeah, it
Because
needs
Victor
to
will
be-
want to look at it.
Agreed, in social media, because, you know, I have a person who lives on the bluff. And again, we had another discussion on Saturday night. And he's ready to make a significant donation. He's ready to have his friends and colleagues also make a significant donation. He feels like they'll be able to at least come up with half or more.
Let's try and do it for next week.
Yeah, I'm
Right?
ready. They just have questions that they don't want to think I give $50,000 to the city, and then they end up using it for something else. Which
And
clearly we
then I'll
know
share that with
that's
you when
not
it's completed.
So it's earmarked.
Or if you have questions you want to add.
we know that.
Did you have something to say?
Yeah, she's asked me for to update, you know, and I know I don't wanna jump in, you know, is this a good time for me to give you a
Yeah,
little bit
that's
of
fine.
update?
Sure. Right.
So, so we went out and we did give every store and then, you know, mailers, and the statement was, you know, we're here to help the city to go forward. It's a little bit easier for us to lower, you know, low denominations. And so we are getting constant donations. $10, to $100 to $500. Right, yeah. I don't know, I did that before I did, I have some checks I need to deposit. So I've kind of been doing, I will get that. So that's been a really great response. We do have a memory page that we're, so you'll see our gratitude page, because we don't want it by, oh, this is a donor, and this donor gave, you know, $500,000. We want it to be a community gratitude. That we're all in it together and making sure there's no division of any, you know, be it financial or anything.
You need like division.
Because I think that sometimes we do, you know, start giving donations by, oh, this person gave 50,000. Then you kind of look at the people that only gave 20,000, you know, that's what they can do. And you might see that those people might add up to be a lot more than some that gave, you know, and then you feel that this is a community effort, you know, that we're trying to create. We're doing. So we're not going to make those different statements. We don't feel like that is the best interest of the community. That makes sense?
Yeah, we won't be doing that either.
Yeah, it's like, because we want to have inclusivity. We don't want, you know, we want everybody to.
Well, you got your wall off, and then you got somebody that
Exactly.
might just want to get $20.
Exactly.
You know,
And
just
that
because
person
they might
$20.
not have.
You know, I had a really great story.
$20,
Yeah, and we had this one, just opened the bakery, and we have a group, memory page, and she has a great picture of her mom, you know, eating, you know, lunch on the bench that's there. And so it's like, I want you to send that to me so we can kind of put that little memory, and, you know, they donate, and it goes up on the board. So you start seeing and hearing exactly what this town was and how what that word meant to a lot of people. Because then you're going to hear, well, there's only 20 people that use that boardwalk, and it really is not significant to the city. And that's not true. You have the historical society that takes tours up there, and people and all the birds that you can see and everything else that happens. So when people say not everybody's using that boardwalk, we only need this side of the boardwalk, not the whole boardwalk. You know, you really start listening to, you know, and not those few people speaking. And I think that that's important to recognize. So we want to raise for the entire amount. And because it's a 501c3, we can use that ongoing. So snow removal, right? Or if you need to repair the level road, you know, so it's not this project. My understanding based on the accountant said that for when you're donating to the city, that has to be for that city, for that project. So, you know, if you do have extra, it would go for the other side, I imagine. But then once that project's done, then, you know, not unless you're going to be raising funds, it would be like for maintenance where we.
Yeah, we can't use it for maintenance. no.
You guys got to do for project where we could do ours for preservation. That's what preservation of this. Because a lot of times in winter time, it's, you know, it's snow removal. That was wear and tear. So that's kind of my feedback that we've had so far. But like I said, we're having a really great response.
Oh, the word's out there. Good
How
traction.
many people have donated to the city?
At least 10. So I check every couple
Okay,
weeks.
here's something.
I'm just gonna ask you that the efforts coordinated so that, you know, what, you know, your team was raised, Maggie's team, and what this is raised, so kind of like one big pot, or how is that working actually?
I mean, quite frankly, I would like to see a float in the, parade that has the boardwalk with the, you know, the
That is a fun
website,
idea.
or the city, you know, like if you guys do the city, one of those trucks,
Mhm.
and then you put the, you know, combination of the two, it would be really helpful. And just have it large enough for people to see. Yeah,
Mhm.
so that,
You
I
want
think
to
that would
spearhead
be,
that?
yeah, I mean, I just think we just take the, you just take the banner with the logo, you know, of the boardwalk is. And then you have one of your guys' city trucks, you know, and I'm not sure you guys a trailer, all you need to do is put a tree on it, two banners on the outside. Easy, easy, and at least the whole community knows that this is what needs to happen. You know,
I love that.
Maybe you do-
That's
Mhm.
You
That's a
know.
good idea.
Pickups.
yeah, I mean, and if someone could, I mean, that would be awesome, because I just
don't
think
know
that
about
that's a
that.
kickoff to the
Maybe.
summer. Everybody's here.
They're pretty strict on
And,
that.
Any way possible, I do have someone working on some big hitters, but, you know, it takes time. It's,
Mhm. Well, that's
Oh, yeah,
why,
we're early.
Yeah.
But I think once a couple people, you know, flip
yeah,
big checks, so to
Right.
speak, those guys all talk
And
amongst
yeah,
themselves.
it will be an
That'll take care of it.
underlying way that happens.
Exactly.
And we are working on big hitters, but we're not going to.
and
do a big one.
even if the big hitters do decide to come for the city for any reason, those online donations, like personally, like I would not write a check. And most people my age are not writing checks for $10 or $20. Like we're just not doing it. They don't own a checkbook anymore. Like it's not a thing. Oh, yeah, so, like, Yeah, so like online, like you need that option. There would be no way around it. So
And I know that it's more than two, yeah, I know that, we talked to, the
Mhm.
accounting side of it, that's gonna be
mhm,
a nightmare if you're getting all the little ones.
Yeah.
To keep track of
Right.
places. This one is just, it's as easy.
Yes, so this gets to publicity and, interesting things to put in some article in the paper. And one thing that, Kelly and Julie talked to us about, they're the company that specializes in fundraising and grant writing. Leadership, yes. And this is information that would then maybe put in the brochure. People want to see that the leadership behind us are giving toward. So, Parks Board, I think we might come to council and see if you guys would all like to give a gift, planning commission.
That's, you're asking as like the city gives it, or as an individual?
Individuals. So I think they were telling us that donors want to see that they're behind us, believe it.
Like, I'm not sure how you guys, because we are doing a page that said.
And it's just listed alphabetically.
Yeah.
So there's
Yeah.
no hierarchy,
Right.
it's just by your last name.
mhm,
But it might be, I don't know, it'd be good information when you're going to donors. Donors.
Mhm.
So,
Anna, you brought up Julie and Kelly.
Yeah.
Does everybody know about this
I
proposal?
think we mentioned it at the last meeting, but why don't you just give a little recap?
So I've known Kelly, for Mega Beer. She was in Traverse City. I've known her and her husband Dave Mega Beer. Runs, Traverse City Foundation. They have a place here in Harbor over, Hidden. I've known him for a few years. And she and her partner now Julie have kind of launched this consulting where, you know, half of it is about fundraising. That's kind of what Kelly specializes in. She used to run United Way in Traverse City and other foundations under that way. And then Julie kind of comes from different background, where she's, you know, got pretty adept at grant writing. So she's known where to go to seek the, you know, where she can locate the potential grants, and she, you know, has money. One recent thing was a little community ski area in Traverse City that just raised a bunch of money to kind of rebuild that area and updated lot and so on and so forth. So, they're pretty good at what they do. So they sent over, this was out of my friendship, knowing Kelly. We got a call together with Dana and Rachel to learn more about what they can do, what they can offer up. So they had a proposal on, different menu of, this is what we can do for this much. And it seems like the investment isn't that big, to turn around maybe a good sum of money, either like the fundraising or through the grant making.
$5,000, something like that, and their
Yeah.
focus, I really liked it, not about coming in and doing everything for us, coming in and learning about us, getting kind of the scaffolding and the structure in place, on this first one to where you could do it with your eyes closed.
Yeah, so it seemed like a nice investment, which could turn into some good fundraising input and grant making, and application help. Because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of, like on the list here, different places to go for one with the DNR and so on and so forth, but it's kind of a lot to ask for one person to do, in a staff position that wears a lot of hats. So anyway, I don't know if it's possible to get some help from council on trying to provide some funds for this, or is it something that can be tied into grant application? So, but unfortunately, we have to do grant. So you kind of like.
Is it the reason that they get involved with various things? Just as difficult, they just keep jumping up and doing.
I don't know if it's something that goes back to the council, John, or, how that works ultimately. But all support. Possibility.
And the best request from this board to that board.
Yeah, because I didn't budget for it. So it's not in the parks budget. I can tell you that right now.
Everybody's super optimistic about, fundraising and all that, but I mean, it'd be so great if we.
Over the winter at the city council meetings, a lady who said she was a grant writer and that she would offer to help for the city.
Now, Linda.
She was
Yeah.
like back in the
She's like the
corner.
head of the Headley group. Between the,
Which, yeah.
she wrote grants.
And she said that she would help the city write grants. I don't know if anyone's ever reached out to her.
Mhm. I don't know who she is. I've seen her in here.
Because if she would do it for free,
I haven't heard her talk about that. I'm on that company board. I know she's a teacher.
I can give her a call.
and maybe we can
That would be an
go
option.
and find in the meeting to make sure it is heard. It was like the big parking,
I can remember that too.
And-
I do kind of remember it all as well.
minutes.
Yeah.
For the Zoom, I find her name, look her up.
I think she would do it more carefully.
Shocking.
I'll make that phone call and then get a meeting.
Yeah. So going back to grants, so the MEDC grant I will put in for, but just be aware that I'm still waiting on what the minimum amount can be. And I'm still waiting on whether they'll accept the engineering drawings as is with the eastern section. So we'll see. And then
Have the whole set of plans been done or?
so yeah, so there's a visual for the western eastern portion, but there's not a cost estimate for both of them together. So that's where they're gonna question why we only have it. So I'll attach the whole thing so they have proof that this is the direction we were always going to go. And like I said, they might be lenient, like they might say we really like this project and give us like another month. I don't know. And I've emailed back and forth, so.
Benefit to kind of find some money to get the plans done. So we have the full package.
We can, it still wouldn't be done in time for this.
I'm trying to do, that's right now, I'm trying to think about.
Yeah, Joe said wasn't gonna happen in time. And then
these other ones?
Yeah, so DNR, that was my comment on DNR. So I'm not against the DNR grant. That the great thing about that Sparks grant is that is what was announced last year, all that state funding going to parks. And the nice thing about that is they're gonna do it in rounds. So let's say you apply for a grant, you don't get it, and they give you feedback, you can apply again for the second round and then again for the third round. The negative side of the DNR grants is if we want this built next spring, that will not happen because you have to put in a DNR grant in April. It takes till October for them to assign it, and it usually takes like 1.5 to 2 years to break down with the break ground. Yeah. So I mean that's okay. I'm just letting you know that we would not have a boardwalk next year if we went that route. I don't know a lot about the NRPA grants. I've looked into a couple for the skate park, so I'd have to look into further. The EDA, again, that's going to be what we ran into with the last one. And then they want jobs coming into the community. Foundation grant, these are all great. I mean, they're smaller amounts, but they add up to other, to things. Yeah, like the Petoskey Foundation, I believe we got a spring grant from them, but I believe I could apply in the fall. I'd have to look at what their rules are.
There's a couple of those you have to do with walkability.
Yeah.
They're
Yep.
supporting that through grants.
I do have a contact with DTE who I could get a hold of. And consumers.
I'm not even sure they're.
But yeah, they're not. DTE is willing to do like events and stuff, but. Mhm. And then publicity, I have these highlighted because we're putting an article in the Harbor Light this week. And the chamber newsletter. So
What's that gonna be?
Bring an article or an ad?
it's gonna be an article. It's like a statement from Victor. He gave it to the news in Petoskey, I believe, a couple weeks ago. So I just sent it over to the Harbor Light.
So Rachel, I think
Yeah.
that anything that we have for publicity.
Yeah.
We need to be clear to the people.
Mhm.
If they make a donation, what will it be used
Yeah.
for? What can it not be used
Mhm.
for? Because those are the questions that I'm getting from people that
Yeah.
are saying to me, so, for example, I want to donate $50,000. Will the money be used only for the board?
Mhm.
Or can it be used for something?
Yeah.
I mean, I know we know the
Mhm.
answer,
Right.
but we need to have that in any article, social media, or advertisement
Mhm.
that, these are funds that are tax deductible.
Yeah.
Can only be used for the boardwalk. And if we raise more than the western side, it'll be used for the eastern side. And those are the questions that the donors are asking. And, the people that I've talked to, they have themselves as well as a half a dozen friends that they think can also donate a significant.
Yeah.
And we need as a city answer those.
Yeah. I feel like Victor's
they're
statement's very clear, but we'll still do a FAQ sheet that we can share with.
Well, but I think,
group can go through.
the ads that we put on Facebook so far, they say we're doing
Yeah.
fundraising, but they don't have enough detail.
Right.
That, if you're gonna write $50,000, you wanna know for sure. And if we don't raise enough money, do they get their money back?
You can send them to the website too. The website has a specific page for the boardwalk that has all that information.
Which website?
The city website has a link.
But
That's a little more in detail. We can add the frequently asked to that. Yeah, more
gotta
clear.
be clear. Gotta be clear, because that's what the people are asking me.
Right.
They're asking me personally. And, I don't answer the question because I'm not exactly sure, but they want answers. So, however, we need to fix that.
Headley committee, that's trying to look at the Headley gas. Kind of a multi-pronged approach, right? And one of the main approaches, notice letters to the editor, like every week we've been trying to get something in there with like take on it. Like mine was, this might be a way around paid parking, whatever. So what do you guys think about, we could take turns doing it, like what would be some topics, the history of the boardwalk and why it's important. Boardwalk in nature, I don't know, I think there'd be some other topics, but that might bring it right to the forefront of people's minds, a letter every week or every other week.
Again, can I get back to a question I asked a bit ago? It seems to me that it's really important at this point to decide if you're going to go after the whole package or just the west side. Because I'm hearing two different things. I know Maggie's group's going for the whole. I personally think it makes sense to go for the whole. But you are the ones that are moving. So I hear some of you saying, well, this is work for the west side and the other trying to do the east side. But if you don't try to raise the whole thing, you have to pull it back. You don't have enough money, then maybe you pull. I think it's just some clarity in that is really important. So are we doing part of it or full of it? And what is the estimated cost going to be? Then I think another suggestion letter to the editor would be how the city's working with, together with Maggie. Who's doing what? Where do you send the money? Both places or one place. I mean, that kind of clarity.
Didn't council only approve the western portion though? That was very specific for fundraising.
They did.
Yeah,
So,
so that would have to go back to council, not the parks board.
Just what she's
What
saying.
it boils down to is money.
Yes, we
I
can
mean,
say we're
so-
going for the whole thing. and
But
we don't
the
get it.
flip side of that is, people want it done now.
is there a way, as you're saying, can you just say, the city would like to do the whole boardwalk? We are focusing, and but on the side. So then everybody knows the whole boardwalk.
So I
What it
think
boils down to is
Right,
tradition.
right.
So it
Can't say
says,
that word, but we're
Right.
financially
it
responsible.
says right here on the
And a few
flyer,
People have made it point.
It says-
that council hasn't been.
on the flyer, it specifically says our goal for the western section, see image below, is 600K. Any funds exceeding that goal will go towards, that's on everything. Like on everything that's there, it's on So people- so people know
So
that.
City position.
Yeah. So if we get to 600K, we're gonna go and we're gonna tie into the western bridge no matter what. But if we exceed that, then we will do the eastern.
The
as
idea
well.
is to get point A, point B.
But also at this point. 2023. It's, the western side. We still have work to do. So I don't know if it's feasible to get the eastern, even if we had, the money. I think that could be,
We'll want to tell people when we're out in public that we're obviously pushing for the entire thing because it's ultimately going to be cheaper to do it all at once than to do it the western and then the eastern separate. So when I speak to people out, I say, yes, like right now we're focused on the western and that's what a lot of our designs are. I was like, but ultimately we are fundraising for the entire thing just because it will save costs to have a construction company come in and do it all. But you are right. It'll be difficult, but it's gonna be difficult to get a contractor no matter what in the spring. Yeah. So
Rick and I will talk in June. The hope is to put it up. So, pretty much by the end of July.
We want to.
Right now, it's western side.
right now, we can't put the whole thing out, right?
Why not get two bids?
Well, that's just it. You can get out, right now, we need a price, well, we're looking at.
Yeah.
Option A. Okay, and then, once you get that, then you can say, okay, if this is. Alternate A, so what would it cost then to add the eastern side?
We do that as part of one bid.
yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
Then do we need to do some more on the drawings for the rest?
Right now, no.
No.
There's enough information from drawing
Mhm.
that a contract,
For both sides.
Mhm.
yes.
No, for the western.
Well,
Yeah.
There's enough information based on what's getting built, or what's supposed to be built. that a contractor can take that information and put it towards the eastern and give a ballpark. Because any estimate that in July is really, is only gonna be good for 30 days.
That's my other thing with the grant is like, by the time we actually do this project, it probably will be $1 million. If it comes in at 900,000 today, let's say, by the time we do it next year, it will easily be $1 million. So I have that in the grant too, that like, you have to look at that. It's like with DNR grants. By the time you do the project, it's a totally different price.
So any price that we get this summer, they will automatically probably add 20, 30
Mhm.
to it.
Cover increases.
To cover increase. Nothing is going.
I think we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
Wants the whole thing done.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have a proposal put in place,
Yeah.
but obviously we'd like everything. We have a
Mhm.
proposal.
So can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So when they, let's say we get the Western. Does that, the estimated cost that we get, that include the demolition of the entire?
Just the
Just the
west.
western side and a section.
Because we can't because of the easement. So we have to leave the boardwalk on the east side and just separate it for now. Because once you demo it, you lose the rights. So we'll keep it for the time being.
So I
It'll
don't,
just be a
I
big section
kind of
missing in
lost
the
on,
middle.
lost on what we do on grants. Rachel, do you think you could pull a couple more that you think would be high probability?
Yeah, I
Do
can.
you think we should take a proposal to council to spend $5,000?
It doesn't hurt to go to council, but I don't know where they'll pull it. I can't speak for councils. We'll come up
I
with.
just think it would be so useful to get that framework in place. So
Mhm.
that on all future grants, we can just
Yeah.
do it. We want to take.
Yeah, I mean, I'll search for grants, but I'm gonna be
Yeah.
like super honest that this summer I will not have time to apply for a grant.
So we could do the Parks Board,
It's just-
make a proposal to, or request of council. That we fund, these people to help us with grants and to get our framework.
I don't see why we couldn't put a proposal together. You have some information. Flyers or.
But we have the whole, they sent us the whole pricing proposal.
We just-
So
just
yeah,
need
so we have
something.
everything. So,
I mean, it's worth a shot. I mean, the only thing we can do is table it until we get information from Nick as to where. If or
There's
what,
some
we can
behind it, yeah.
pull some money. I honestly don't know where we're at
and my,
halfway through the season.
that's what I'm saying, like, I'm hesitant to take it out of the parks budget in case something were to happen, like, we haven't even hit summer yet. So I'm really hesitant to pay for it and then something drastic
here's-
happens.
Here's an, yes, here's an option. Something. Now, that's something that.
Possibly.
I can speak for everybody at council. That is probably something that. Get across.
I think it's something that
If
could
the
be
Parks
so
Board is
valuable,
willing
like the
to-
DDA to everybody. I mean, it would help the whole city.
Right. So maybe $40 a day, council cover half. I mean, that would be a better
How about-
proposal
how about
than
our
trying to do it all.
Harbor Commission is gonna need grants. Addition on the building. And give you money.
I think if they do the addition on
I
the
don't
building, they're just gonna
disagree
pull
with
it
you.
from
It's
their
just a matter
budget.
How we can get all the committees on the same page. I think it's a good idea.
How would we do that? Would you call like Margot and JB?
Yeah, I'll have to speak to Victor first and then I'll,
Maybe pass bucks from everybody.
Rope in.
bucks from council or something.
Yeah.
We really need them to work on it.
and Margot will have to take it to her board, I'm sure. It probably won't be Margot's decision.
Right.
Maybe this
be-
should just.
JB would have to do this.
Correct.
Maybe this should just be for right now for parks and council. That we can get them going on our grants.
I think, I mean, I don't disagree with you there, but I think Rachel can still approach the other ones. Everybody in and. Well, 'cause if we're just
Talk
gonna get
about it
down,
at the next meeting, then Rachel, maybe you talk to
Mhm.
the other chairs. Just list this.
because everybody's gonna use it, I think, this. You know, what the bill says.
And
So,
what do you get for the $5,000?
who has a proposal?
I
So
do,
they
but it's in
come
my
they
email.
talk to us about what we want to accomplish, they want to know about the city, what we've done so far, what projects, we need help with, either for fundraising or for.
Like a consultant.
They have it broken down, hourly rates and so on, you know, for rates. So pretty well. And bring it.
I can send it to you. Yeah, I can send it out.
What about going to Petoskey and asking, how they have structured their grants, because they're getting tons of grants every year, they're maximizing. So they either have their system or their engine in place to move grants forward, or they have someone that's, just dedicated to that, because they, it would be interesting, to kind of.
Doesn't make- I mean, what's that?
Consulting, but,
Seems like they have
do they have, I mean,
somebody.
They probably contracted out,
Yeah.
most likely.
Kind of like what we're talking
I
about.
don't know about that. Well, I'm gonna talk to- anyway, I don't know, but it would be interesting just to
Mhm.
kick tires, you're so close to each other, you know, and see if they can help you out, if they do have something in place, but whatever they're doing something right, you know, then the for grants they.
Like calling them.
I can call Kendall. I know Kendall.
Since they're already in place, just whatever they're. And I agree with, council and spreading it out with everything, because you're going to do grants for a city instead of just one board doing, like, well, I agree with John, spread it out. Other,
Well, they could have some advice too on how we handle all of these multiple fundraising efforts that are bringing in.
If it,
Let's see.
yeah, if it is Kendall writing their grants though, there in the Parks Department, I can assure you he is writing them in the winter. So just keep that in mind. I will call him though.
Here's something that I just don't know that much about, but another way to fund things.
Yeah.
So I
City
guess the
bonded out.
voters were bonded out.
Yeah.
We
That's
can't-
not a possibility. Right now, I think we got 4 or 5 years
Well,
4 years, I think.
before the bond is paid off.
Full bond and no risk. Let's see. Okay, here's what's going to go to the next page.
Yeah. Get out of this. Let's look at a date for a
Yes.
fundraising event.
So the community barbecue.
Yeah, so, you know, at the last meeting, I said about a community barbecue event. And I have, but if we don't have a date,
Mhm.
nobody will give you any. I mean, you know, anything or anybody. So we need to have a date. And then, you know, I've looked at you know, Up in Smoke to come and do a barbecue. I've looked at having country western line dancing, you know, a lot of different options. But if we don't know the date, the people who do these services for catering and that type of, they're booked.
I think,
Just like time, you know,
yeah,
have time. So
a date,
first thing we need,
a date's important. And I also think it's important. Do you guys have anything, like, do we do them together? Do we, like, that's gonna be so confusing. If like, we're doing a fundraising event and then they're,
we're not,
okay,
we're gonna just go directly to.
Okay. okay.
Just trying to get the involved and. I.
But it might be something you guys can
Right.
join in.
Yeah. Cause we still want to advertise that like online option. Okay.
Again, it's There's a lot of stuff going on. so,
Right.
They're waiting to
Yeah.
wait till.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, I think.
Well, based
Okay.
on what's going on with chamber stuff already. So we're-
The park.
When we talking, we ought to do it what people here.
But, Marina Park is really busy.
So before we
Yes.
go on to this event, can we talk about, I'm Karen, I'm on both boards. So can we talk about a way to work together and merge our publicity, our fundraising, something? So for example, for the foundation, we have a QR code. Scan that, like it's in the windows in the stores and on postcards that are sent out and being handed out, and it takes you right to the website. And then it gives you all the information. And then you can also donate right at the website. The first thing you see, it's the header and then donate now. So I'm just trying to think if there's a way we could work together.
And
Do it
you-
on a Facebook.
and to
Totally agree.
Alex's point, I think you guys have some better pull than if we approached it, but I think that you guys should talk to the farmer's market to have a stand.
I have spoken to
And then
him.
see a
Yeah.
rotation of whatever
Like
it
it goes
is.
to the market.
And to have, I mean,
Donation table.
a donation table, be there, conversation.
What's the flyers, pamphlets, like pick it up, walk out,
It's a
or
great,
I mean,
Whatever.
I have a hard time right now because do an event, and we would love to do an event, but look how much money you're going to spend to do an event, and how much you're going to get back. from
I was
that.
just thinking the same thing.
And so, because I've watched what we do for the agriculture, all of that, even the
Mhm.
donations and so forth, we're only making $5,000 per unit with a whole 6 months plan.
And I,
Versus.
That's a different focus.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
business to town.
Right, but, so if you can go into where crowds are, that would be a taste event that takes place, and you have a table there. You have the farmer's market, you have a table there. You have the Thursday night where you have,
street music.
the street music, and, you dedicate one of those nights around it, I just think that you guys, you have the crowd, and you have people having their cocktails and so forth, and it's perfect, and the night where they, the end of the summer, where we go to the cellar, right? So I think we can talk to one place where they would offer their store, they would actually match. Whatever the people spent that night to give a certain amount to. So
That could be a nice partnering with DDA. Just see if they can help and do that tonight.
I just think that right now, you guys gotta go where the crowds are, that are naturally there.
Thanks for a great thought.
Yeah, I think that's a good thought. I think at this time, we don't have a date and we don't have things in place.
There's some.
I think
Very-
when we did the Skatepark Fundraiser and I talked to someone who's like Kelly, she was a consultant when I met with Evergreen. She said the problem with events is she was like, they're great to get the word out. But other than that, you really don't make that much money off them.
So
Like, it's like doing a car wash. Like, yeah, people saw it and like, something's going on. Like you didn't really at the end of the day.
I'm involved in a charity downstate, called Bottomless Toy Chest, and they give toys to cancer children in hospitals, but they quit having events, and now it's called the no-show baby shower. So you send in a donation and don't show up. So it's kind of like,
Yeah.
because of that reason,
Right.
you don't have the overhead of the event, and the money goes straight to the program.
So what if I spoke to Bonnie and Margot? Because they want the boardwalk too, because the businesses want the boardwalk and the chamber wants it for visitors. What if we partnered with them with one of their already going events?
Maybe it's-
Like she's saying, like
I like that.
Thursday night, a Friday night music,
I like that.
something in that's already happening. Yeah,
At the table.
right.
At farmer's market,
Mhm.
at street music, wherever, accepting donations, answering questions.
Farmers market, we can only do once a month if you're a visitor. So like we would have to do it.
We're the city.
I know, it doesn't believe me, I tried that card. So like,
We'll go to the.
but that's what I'm saying, we could do it under separate names though, like, yeah.
I bet you that, farmer ice cream place. would-
Yeah. Right.
Or just,
But-
Or maybe we just use the word park and we have our
Yeah.
banner up.
But I'm saying like we could do it twice a month. It would just have to be under separate names, like we would
right,
do.
right there.
Preservation, yeah.
Just have our own little
Mhm.
table. and-
Celebrate their.
Right.
Yeah. I'll talk to Hannah.
For the Fourth of July art.
Because we do have, we have banners already.
Or our show.
Yeah.
And then you just
Right.
cut it. You guys are there,
Mhm.
take turns. We don't want you,
Or
want
just have a calendar.
Yeah.
Sign up to volunteer
Right.
for a 2-hour shift or whatever. 4
That'd be
hours or
I think this
whatever.
needs to be part of our publicity too, is there are 2 ways to donate.
Yeah.
One through online with you guys and one bring your check to city.
Kind of want to get back to that, you know, the comment you made, Allison, about pulling the two groups together in a clear way. People understand that it's not donating to one and not the other. I mean, I don't know, I'm not as involved as you all are, in what's been done so far, but you're totally right. I think everyone needs to clearly understand that this is teamwork. And maybe it's as simple as there's 2 different ways you can donate. One is by check the city, and the other is, you know, doing an online donation to the foundation. But I think just really needs to be clear that this is one team. People don't, you know, they're not curious about it, like, I don't really understand what I'm supposed to do.
There was a good article in the paper that spelled it out. I thought that you did. But I just wonder, what do you think about like our publicity stuff? Your QR code and website on our stuff, you put
Well,
all information.
we can do that, but we'll have to go to council first because I don't know how you guys voted on it. Or what the actual motion was.
There, I don't know.
I agree with it. But- Yeah.
It's the only reason why
So-
this is there.
I just don't know what the official motion is.
And
I don't know either.
I wasn't there, so I don't know.
But I do
Well, I
agree,
don't
like,
see there
it
being a
looks,
problem with-
yeah, it looks like it's separate and it should look more cohesive.
So I think that's, and that's what we need to show the community as
Yeah.
well. You know,
Right.
I think this is.
Mhm.
When's the next council meeting?
Monday.
So could we get together and create pre-council meeting?
Yes.
A flyer
Mhm.
that puts both.
Yeah, everything together.
Yeah, both together
Yeah.
and then you
Yeah,
can
'cause
present
it would be-
them.
It would be basically approved probably by Victor. with
Yeah.
a Rubber stamp.
Yeah, it probably doesn't
by
have to
us.
go, yeah.
So if we could get it set up.
Yeah, it'd probably just be like a consent agenda item or something.
But have a draft of
Mhm.
this is what it's trying to say.
Mhm.
just
Yeah,
so
with your
we-
QR thing and
Yeah.
the city, so it's online here or.
And like, we could do like the city logo and then the boardwalk preservation logo
Mhm.
across the top, so you have both
I can,
next to each other, so one's not ranking higher than the other or whatever, and then also we could, through the city, put the donor names for recognition on the foundation website, going there too,
Right.
yeah.
I might bring up the parade to him as well for
We
the,
gotta do great.
yeah, well, I'll talk to him about the parade.
That's the focus of the city. I think it,
Probably huge.
yeah, it really is.
Clear, barely wants.
For sure.
Yeah, well, I was thinking about doing this.
If you do that, I think you.
Over there on the east side and then a tree. Sure if they have those old, the lights, because I'm sure there's a light. Put it right.
You can even take whole sections of dock and put them together with some stuff, so.
Yeah, it would be really easy and inexpensive. And
I think we could afford the candy from Parks.
Do we have anything left over to strike on?
Mhm.
Let's see, should I try and recap? I think we made some good progress. So, let's see. Go to council and we're gonna see what we can figure out. Let's see, are we ready to go to council this Monday? Might do that.
I think I can pull it together before Monday.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, one would be this whole concept of hiring the consultants and splitting it somehow. We're gonna have to figure out what that split is. Monday.
Yep.
I think for that, you should, reach out.
Yeah, I'll reach out to them tomorrow.
And then if you can't get a decent idea from them before Mondays, probably table that.
The JBO committee. We're pretty on that.
Well, you know, I mean, if you
Yeah.
can't get a good feel, I'd wait till the next. Together, right?
Yep, then, let's see, should we try and get the brochure together?
I think definitely should do that.
Guys,
I think we
Just
should,
some
yeah.
draft, just to
Yeah.
give council
Yeah.
an idea, and then we can formalize it.
I think we should work on a FAQ too, for
Yeah,
both
these are- are
websites.
the-
Because if people see it's the same one, then they'll be like, oh, they're together.
Right on.
Yeah.
It should be
hmm
the same.
You should be able to go to each website and see the exact same information, basically.
Let's see. Also, we need to council about. The float.
Yeah, I have that on here. I'm gonna talk to
Maybe
Bonnie.
Everybody will be-
Mhm.
Let's see.
Students want to paper.
Do they usually do a float?
No, I just wanted to
Okay, you
fundraising.
first.
Oh, Nate is still in school, so I haven't spoken to him yet. But I'm sure if there is a float opportunity, Nate will be on top.
And if we could do like a list of farmers markets, street music, other
Yes,
events.
yeah.
Mhm.
public
I
events.
could create a sign up genius for people to
Mhm.
do volunteer shifts. and
Okay.
Sit at a table.
Yeah, I'll send them to you
Yes.
So
along
council
with.
doesn't need to be involved in that, right?
No,
What's 4th of July, the art show? So is there a way to just kind of align with, you know, Kiwanis and
Mhm.
hot dogs or whatever? Align with that side of the park? Tons of people.
also good. I don't know if
Did
you
you guys
heard it in
get
the
into
meeting,
that?
but Friendship Village will
Somebody
pass out
finds
flyers
pictures.
for free.
Mhm.
Do you know
Create a
that? They have like a
photo.
crew. Huh?
Like that Meyer.
Yeah. Bill Brown told us that last thing. But if you just drop them off, like their volunteers will go take them all around town for you, like no matter what it is. I'm pretty sure.
No, we can
So,
take some pictures, copy them.
yeah, I saw those.
Photo album.
I'm working like every day, so now I don't, but I can on Monday.
So council.
I don't think we need a council, I'm just saying for,
Photos, yeah. I
for the
could.
swings that we're talking.
Sure, no, oh.
I think-
okay.
booth, so if somebody comes
Yeah.
up and wants some information, they wanna just pause through, you know, history. Handful of pictures, like,
I think the Historical Society probably has some, I'm sure.
They do.
Yeah.
So then working on the brochure, that, Dana, Allison, do you want to? Maggie?
Yeah.
Somebody from your group too?
Yeah, and then I'll do the sign up genius after we get all the dates. Then we can send that out. And, also if anyone knows anyone who'd be interested in volunteering and sitting there, at a farmer's market or whatever. Yeah, you can reach out to them.
Thanks, okay, then Rachel, do you want me to type up kind of a summary or are you?
I could type up a summary. If I miss anything, I'll type it up. I'm sure I'll miss something. You can chime in.
Then what do you think about grants? Do you want to try and start on that?
Yeah, I'll look for some, but like now is just not the time for me.
And what about family
So-
foundations?
I've got the.
Yeah.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah.
I have spoken to 2 family foundations
Right.
through the Petoskey Community Foundation that are interested. That also donated to the skate park. So hopefully. Those will come to something.
Then, how do we communicate with?
The people that I've had communication with more than once, they want their questions. So I think
So,
whatever
together,
we're
yeah.
doing with that, needs to answer their questions. They're talking about multiple people, but donations.
a little kind of. Fill it up in
Maybe
an
Susan
auction.
Maybe
Start
Susan
out here.
Clark, she's up there and she might know.
Who?
Susan Clark. They know,
She'll have a few.
anything else? Thanks for all the good ideas. I feel like we've got some direction now.
Good direction. Where to start?
Think about.
Just gotta break it down. It's kind of what we want.
Good progress.
Very good.
Well, no, I think I
You know.
think it'll be a fun project.
I work a lot with.
I think it's nice to have everybody on the same.
Exactly.
I really
And
don't.
it really kind of brings, what, that does bring both towns.
When you guys
Talk
get
to you
a
about
flyer,
The Kiwanis Winter Park.
once the flyer is done, you should try to look at how to get it out of the township. Get a mailer,
You
the
think?
Good Heart store, the Cross store, Lakes Inn.
You think they're interested in donating?
They seem to want to have a say in everything else.
West Traverse or Little Traverse probably would.
When they have to try
We've
to
got
get the high
donations
school.
from people.
Yeah.
People in Birchwood. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised, yeah.
You know,
Right.
or middle school.
Well, they all come from it.
Yeah, they all.
Or they just grew up going to it.
There's a lot of people in the township that come into walking.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying, if you, July.
Yeah, park up at the high school, go to July, and then they have to walk down Judd Street.
Did you post a flyer at the boardwalk? I'm gonna post a flyer actually at the boardwalk. See how many people are gonna walk up to that?
Measure it, because
Yeah.
I think there should be a banner so people can see it.
Mhm,
Because you know, right now it says closed. And
Mhm.
you have that. banner
yeah,
That covered it, so it's a good. Or, also, remember what it was.
I think so.
And then, so on both sides, at least it's something that
yeah.
is,
That's something
great.
garbage
driving
can make.
by, you know,
Well,
you're driving
coming
by
soon.
and it's,
Yeah.
Mhm,
it's something that,
yeah.
that was
Yeah.
what.
It would be nice to have that, but also like information about donating. Like when people walk up and it's closed, yeah, like on the banner, like have all
It would
that.
actually be the-
Do you
Yeah.
have the postcard?
Yeah, it would actually be the logo.
Okay.
And then, you
And
know,
then, so we could do the
donate
banner
now
with
and
the
then the
logo.
website.
Yeah.
and so when you're driving, you see it.
Mhm.
And that's the same thing we wanted to do for
I mean,
the,
Us QR code on the banner too.
right.
Mhm.
And it's because people are walking up there and so forth.
We're definitely,
That's what I'm saying.
Not
Like
bad.
people are gonna be walking to it and being like, whoa.
So nice.
who
I think
haven't-
starting the whole thing with, don't you wish you could walk down?
But-
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So it says donate today, preserve boardwalk, but then it has, yeah, so, I mean, ideally, the banner would, change, but the banner would have the front logo across it, and then you have the website, so when you're driving, still see, you know, to do it. And then the QR code, and then you can also say,
Mhm.
don't
yeah, the
walk.
flyer, do it,
Yeah.
post it, yeah.
I just think that's a good spot, like you're saying, to get people.
Top of the board.
Right.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like you don't really realize it's closed till you're at it or you know already. So
It's a good idea. So that's something Carter's gonna make, so it's one.
Yeah, yeah. yeah, it'd be just like the ones we have up top smaller, yeah, or Decca Digital either.
Hey, can we put it on the city website or like donate, check to city hall or?
Yeah, we
That's what
do,
they're-
and we'll do that, I'm sure.
Mm-mm.
So, yeah, absolutely. You know, I don't think he's gonna do that, but, so some people wanted to do the, cards, some people wanted to do the picture, but it seems that, whatever we want to do, I do think there needs to be some, similarities between the two,
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, well, let me take these.
And both information.
Right.
Yeah.
Groups of information put together.
So did somebody say that we need to get permission from council to do this?
No, I don't think you have to do that, but I'll just have to, Victor created the website page. I mean, I can go in and change it, but I'll just talk to him and like talk about the changes tomorrow.
this your latest information?
Mhm.
Yeah, so if you scan the QR. it should-
Right, but at the bottom, the acceptability of your donation remains subject to IRS approval.
Yeah.
Et cetera, that's still the status.
That's the status, so it takes 180 days. We're able to collect donations. I did talk to the, Petoskey, DJ at the Petoskey, Harbor Springs. I said, you know, for whatever reason we don't get it, it's that 90% chance you're going to get this, so don't worry about it, because for a city project, where it goes to the city. But for reason something happens, we'll go to them, and then they would take this. That would be,
Or could it just come over to the city and then the city
yeah, we could do that
do the
too.
tax?
We could do that too.
Either way, it's the same.
But everybody's,
Except
And
that
if there's a
foundation charge.
process for the 501c3, we're the last step.
right,
Yeah,
so
you'll get it.
Waiting on that last form of data.
Yeah, it's
So every
pretty,
other thing we should
Yeah.
pass approval on.
yeah, you're not gonna have a problem.
just time.
Anything with the state takes a lot of time.
Yeah, that was
So,
our. No,
You're
because
just
of
saying,
one, because of one. Right.
so Nick's taking checks now.
Correct.
We're not using the foundation,
Correct.
only be,
So, and
I think you have to look at the foundation. There's.
Sure.
Nick will probably say.
Well, the great thing about this is that, so Nick is doing it all by hand. I have an automated Excel spreadsheet that, our system that we use, gives you an update. Log in and it gives you all. the-
That's-
So all you have to do is go, and then they can.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Everything's
Because-
generated.
they're too overwhelmed. with
Right.
Everything, the day-to-day operations.
And also when someone donates, automatically does thank you, and it gives all the information. Or that it's, I don't want to pending. You haven't had anybody, or anything like that yet.
I've heard nothing but good things.
So it's
Mm.
positive.
Anybody I've talked to about it, other than the fact that just what I've done, but
I really think once the word's out there with both groups, like, and we're, like we said, cohesive, like, we're not gonna have a problem bringing, I really don't think it's gonna be. I foresee us making our goal like by the end of July, early August, honestly. So
that'd be nice, yeah.
I think it's gonna take like a few really big donors. Yeah.
It was talking about that,
So
so we have
like,
donated more.
This track.
We still want to pursue that, or just so.
But we haven't done that.
I don't wanna do that.
It's,
But then when we have to replace that board, then we have to like deal, I don't know, I just think that's gonna be. I say we stay away from that from now. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, thanks for.
And can I just bring up one thing really quick that's not boardwalk related?
Yeah.
I was out of town over the weekend, but I received a photo from a lot of people of a carnival elephant ear truck.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yes.
Where is that?
At Skatepark,
Is it Shea Park?
yes. So I received several complaints
Mhm.
about it. I don't
Yeah.
know if that goes through parks because it was at Shea Park. or
It does.
where-
So we don't, our form, we allow food trucks. I did email them. They weren't allowed to that table. So I did email them about that. And we don't have anything about flags or any like, I mean,
it
it's a
was
food,
carnival truck.
yeah.
It wasn't a food truck.
The thing is with it, like we got some complaints, but we also got a lot of people that loved it. Like they were so busy. So it's kind of, I've actually gotten more positive comments than negative so far. But yes, that was brought to our attention, like the table and like all of that.
Yeah,
It
I
was, yeah.
in town and I got texts from a
Mhm.
bunch of different people with the photos of it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't see that.
Yeah, like Margot went to it and it was super busy.
How do you say no?
And I was
to
like,
that?
you can't because it's a food truck spot. I mean, we can add more rules to it, of course. Like one of our rules is generators. Like last year we had someone with a very loud generator and we had to like discuss that with them and not allow them to be there. So like the flags and things like that. Yeah, Victor and I have discussed that's ongoing thing with food trucks.
My opinion is for the city, they prefer culture over carnival. And there are people that bought snow cones, you know, and enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Nice people, but
It was aggressive. I will
Yeah.
agree with that.
Oh, my God.
It's from Venetian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, there was a beautiful chamber music concert in the park at the same time. And it was very well attended at Marina Park. There were just incredibly talented young people.
Mm.
It was, you know, so beautiful. And, you know, I think for me, Harbor Springs is more about culture than carnival in terms of what is our unique self. You know, and
I hate for us to be part of tours and, you know.
yeah, right, no, it's difficult for us
I
to,
mean, it's a little bit out, I mean, it was a big shock.
It was kind of shocking.
I mean, you know, I
I mean, it
received
was-
a number of
That's
negative
a little
comments from people.
Like, do it gradually or something, but this was like,
She put in that.
I didn't want to see
Yeah.
sledding, still be ahead.
Yeah.
It was-
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a place for it, that probably wasn't.
But I also think that.
But that's also the only place you allow food trucks. Like, we have to
Yeah.
understand that. That is literally the only 4 places in town that allow food trucks. I couldn't send them somewhere if I wanted to.
Street.
Huh?
Is a food truck going back on
No.
Third Street?
No,
That's a private property
no, they're going.
deal
they're-
that they do.
The other food truck on that. They are going to Bay Harbor.
Yeah.
For the new case. there.
Yeah. Yeah, because they went to Dipsy, I think. and
Yeah.
Stuff they did.
But, you know, I mean, I know it was busy. I know there was a lot of people on bicycles that came down, you know, visitors.
I do not have an application for them for the rest of the summer. It was only those 2 days.
oh, really?
It was just for those 2 days.
Are they gonna be, that's a Marina Park, so?
Susie, no, there's 2. There's Susie's Pies and Chili's
But
Table.
Tilly's, no, that's also another question that I may have for you. That meant to be in this meeting. You know, they have 2, maybe 15, 20-foot high flags out there. I mean, is there any restrictions about?
Are they objectionable in some way or?
Well, you know what, the city has a lot of, code that used to be enforced, right now, not so much. And so, I don't know, I don't know, you know, my position is that when outside people want to come into Harbor Springs for a few weeks or just summer, and they're competing with full-time year-round business in our community. Now, I've done it, and I've spent thousands of dollars to establish businesses. Not a big fan. And I mean, these banners were not that. I mean, they weren't cheesy
Are you
banners.
talking about the elephant park?
No, I'm talking about it, Tilly's. I mean, they're 20-foot high, they're nice. things to
I know what
stand
you're
out.
talking about.
Why
Yeah.
don't they just have their tent, their little.
They have their
tent and not use banners?
You know,
Yeah.
that's what they had last year.
And that's something we can look at our policy form about. Those are
And, you
slight
know, I'm
changes.
going back, I've gone down as many mornings as I can, and I've set up the chess
Mhm.
games. And I don't know, because the harbor master hasn't been open. I don't know where the cornhole.
Oh, they're in Ford Park right now, but he has staff starting, so I'll have him out.
If
So,
they, yeah, bring those, I can set up cornholes. I've set up
So
the
he's probably up
tic-tac-toe.
and running now.
Yeah, he's
That's
there.
easy.
He finally just,
And all that.
not finally, but his staff started him early weekend.
But I don't know where the cornhole.
Or instead of having.
It can be, yeah.
You wanna,
Bakery,
You know,
things like
where-
that.
Bye, Maggie.
Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, thank you.
In the farmer's market.
What?
you see the needs water and then.
So the question.
For Marina Park, I just was down there today and Mike told me the sprinklers are getting them.
I mean.
Mike told me that the sprinklers are getting the flowers. So they seemed okay when I was down there. You can double check, but I did talk to him about it today.
Okay, thanks, let's adjourn the meeting. Yes.
So that's what I'm saying, why?
The people that are-
Thanks for coming.
Sure.
I have good ideas.
So that's what I'm saying, why not take a look?
Or-
Get up, the people may have a bunch of coffee.
Yeah, fundraising.
Yeah, thanks. Rachel.
Bye, Karen. Thank you.